Should we claim permanent exemption for Jan 2026 exam? A big question in the mind of many students. And believe me, I am getting a lot of message from many students about this particular question. And from my point of view, the decision need to be taken by you. I can only guide you. And the decision is based on your mindset, your determination, your effort, whatever you are going to put in. I can only guide you. Means after my guidance, you need to take your own decision. And decision is totally based on how much you are determined about the next attempt, how much positive you are about the next attempt, how much effort you are going to put in your next attempt. That will decide whether you should claim permanent exemption, whether you should not claim permanent exemption. Now, on what factor our decision should be based, that we are going to discuss in this particular video. Let us start the video, but before listening this video, don't forget to subscribe this channel and do like this video and share this video with all your friends. Now let us take one scenario to understand the entire case. Let us suppose that in previous attempt you have scored exemption in AFM. You have scored more than 60 marks in AFM. It can be any other case. It can be FR, it can be audit also. Audit is highly impossible, but it can be also one case. Why I have taken example that you have scored exemption in previous attempt for AFM, because whatever messages I received from the student, in all messages I have seen that student have scored exemption in AFM. So let us take that example only. In previous attempt you have scored exemption in AFM, and after that you have already written 3 more attempts, and in that 3 more attempts you are not able to pass. Got this point? So now for Jan 2026 examination you have 2 options. Either to claim permanent exemption in AFM or not to claim permanent exemption in AFM. Now if you claim permanent exemption in AFM, then what is the scenario? Then in that case your marks in AFM will be counted as 50. Means even though you scored 60, 70, 80, that will not be counted. Your marks in AFM will be counted as 50. And in other 2 papers, that is in FR and audit, of course you write down in Jan 2026 FR and audit exam only. And in that 2 papers you need to score at least 50 marks. Means in FR you should score more than or equal to 50 marks, and an audit also you need to score more than or equal to 50 marks. Got this point? Yes sir. This is the first option available with you. What is the second option? Second option is that you decide not to claim permanent exemption in AFM. In that case, in Jan 2026 exam, you write all 3 papers again, AFM, FR, audit, and your exemption will not be counted. Got this point? Now, in aggregate, in all the 3 papers, you need to score equal to or more than 150. Got this point? Now, as we know that audit is difficult subject from the student point of view. So in this case, let us say that in audit you need to score at least 40. At least 40 you need to score in audit, or more than 40. Let's say you are scoring 40 in audit. It means, can I say in FR AFM your marks, aggregate marks for FR and AFM should be equal to or more than 110. Then only the aggregate will be 150. Got this point? So in the second option in FR AFM, you should score more than or equal to 110 on the assumption that in audit you can score 40. Got this point? Now what is the advantage and disadvantage of this particular option? That also we need to understand. In the first option, when you are claiming permanent exemption, what is the advantage? The big advantage that you write only 2 papers. You write only 2 papers. So you have more time and you can give time to these 2 papers. Correct? What is disadvantage of this particular option? They will score more than or equal to 15 audit. That is one challenge. This is only one challenge. Correct? What is the disadvantage? This is the disadvantage that in the audit paper you need to score more than or equal to 50 marks. This is the biggest challenge in this particular options. Means on the scenario that in last 3 attempts when there was an exemption of AFM, then also you are not able to pass in that 2 paper. Now this become a big challenge that now you are claiming a permanent exemption in AFM. So your marks is counted as 50. Now in audit you will score either 50 or more than 50. This is only the big challenge. Okay. Now what is the disadvantage of second option? First, what is the disadvantage? That you need to again write AFM paper. Again write AFM paper. In the last 3 attempts you have not revised. You have not revised AFM paper. You have not written the exam or AFM paper. So can you say no? You have, it can be one situation that you have forgotten AFM paper. You need to rewrite AFM paper. This is the main disadvantage of these options. Got this point? What is the advantage? Advantage is that in total you require 150 marks. It can be anywhere around. Are you getting what I am saying? At least 40 marks is required in audit. Means if you score 40 marks in audit and your aggregate is 150, you are passed. This is the advantage in this particular option. So first you need to understand what is the advantage and disadvantage. Got this point? Once you have understood this advantage and disadvantage, now your decision should be based on how much effort you can put. How much effort you can put means how much time you have and how much time you can utilize. Your entire decision is based on that. Now let us understand how much time you have. Whatever I have understood by speaking to all the students, that on an average they can study 10 hours in a day. Sometimes some student can also study 12 hours per day. Some student can also study 14 hours per day. And I have seen there are many students who can study more than 15 hours per day. But on an average, a CA student normally study 10 hours per day. So on that assumption that you are studying 10 hours per day, can I say both the option you have 600 hours, taking 60 days. So you have 600 hours here, you have 600 hours here. It means, can I say in the first option, if you divide 600 hours in two paper, it means for the paper, FR paper, you have 300 hours, and for audit papers, you have 300 hours. Got this point? And normally just try to understand audit require, first revision of audit require 100 hours, then 80 hours, then 60 hours. It means at least 3 time revision you can do for audit. Why I am giving more emphasis on audit? Because scoring in audit is difficult as compared to FR. And whatever messages I have received from the student, normally students have scored in FR, they are struggling in audit only. What I have understood that in the past attempt, it is quite possible you have not given sufficient time for audit. So that you need to understand whether you have given sufficient time for audit in the previous attempt or not. To pass any examination of audit, from my point of view, before exam, at least 3 time revision is required. At least. Audit is that paper where you need to study more. Then only you can retain the words, ICR wordings. That is the main point that you need to understand in audit. FR AFM manageable because there you are practicing. There you are practicing, and practice makes you perfect. But in audit, you are reading and memorizing it. Retention is quite difficult here. Correct. So in this case, can you say if you have 300 hours for audit, you can revise 3 times audit. Coming to second option, once again 600 hours you have. 600 hours you have, and can I say AFM, even though you have code exemption in what the attempt which was quite long ago, now you need to redo it. And from my point of view, if you have not revised AFM from the last 3 attempts, it means you have forgotten. It means you have forgotten. Last exam we forgot whatever we have learned. So it is, I will say, wrong to say that if you have scored exemption in AFM in the previous attempt, then again you can easily score exemption. It will be wrong to say. It means you, to score again good marks in AFM, you need to redo, re-revise AFM again. So considering that 600 hours 3 subject, it means 200 hours per subject. 200 hours per subject means, can you say, you can't revise more than 2 times. So FR 2 times, AFM 2 times, and audit also 2 times. And that too, if suppose in FR and AFM you have taken more number of hours. Correct now? Are you getting? Just try to understand this situation. If you are revising FR 2 times, manageable. But here, if you have taken more than 200 hours in FR and AFM, then audit, you have less number of hours. This you need to understand. Here you have only 600 hours. If you are studying 10 hours per day, so what I can suggest you, if you are going for not claiming permanent exemption, you need to increase 10 hours to 12 hours. Means if you are studying for 12 hours, then you have 720 hours, extra 120 hours. That extra 120 hours you can again give toward audit. Means 3-time revision. I say for passing exam for audit, 3-time revision is required. 2-time must, 3-time it is guaranteed that you will score good marks in audit. It is guaranteed that you will score good marks in audit. That is my approach. Means that was my approach as a student. I used to give more time to the subject in which I was weak. As you are not good in audit, I was also not good in audit. Got this point? Are you able to understand? Yes, sir. I hope you have understood. Now, the next decision is totally based on this particular case. Now you have understood what is the advantage and disadvantage of option 1 and option 2. Correct. Now you know how much time is available with you and how much revision is required for each paper in option 1 and option 2. That you have also understood. Now you need to decide. I can only guide you. So first you need to ask one question. Can you score in FR and AFM together equal to or more than 110 marks? Just try to, if you are confident about this particular marks, if you are confident about FR subject and AFM subject, I will say go forward. Go forward option number 2. Don't claim permanent exemption. If you are confident about FR, AFM, sir, easily we can score 60, 60, 55, 55, more than 55, 55. Okay, then don't claim permanent exemption. Believe me, in that situation, I will say this will be dangerous. And if you feel audit is difficult, then why you are taking risk of scoring 50 or more than 50 in audit? If you are confident about FRM, AFM paper, don't claim permanent exemption. But if you are not confident about FR and AFM paper, AFM, you need to revise again. And just see in the last 3 attempts, what was marks in FR. If the marks in FR was also below 40, so how can you say that you can score more than 110 marks or equal to 110 marks in FR and AFM? That is a point of concern. Got this point? So don't take decision emotionally. Think practically, think logically, then take one decision. Got this point? So if the answer is no, if you think, sir, we can't score, I can't score 110 marks or more than 110 marks in FR and AFM, then just try to understand this particular situation. Just think that whether in past 3 attempts, whether you have given sufficient time for audit. If in past 3 attempts, if you have not done proper revision of audit, correct, I will say you can now properly revise audit. Understood? Means the reasons, just try to understand. In FR, in the past 3 attempts, you are able to score more than 40. And you are not able to score good marks in audit. Why? The reason is that you have not done proper revision. You require 3-time revision, you have done only 1-time revision due to insufficient time, or you have wasted a lot of time. Quite possible. In that case, I will say be determined that in this coming attempt, you are going to do proper revision of audit, 3-time at least revision. You will not waste a single time, and you will use this 600 hours. And why 600 hours? You can study more than 10 hours, you can study 12 hours, you can study 15 hours, and you can properly revise audit. Just try to understand, if you have not revised audit paper properly, you can't score 40. And if you can revise audit properly, in any case you need to score 40. So why not 50? Revise audit properly, 40 will become 50. In any case, in both the situation, you need to score 40. 40 to 50 is only 20% extra effort. Only 20% extra effort. Why I am saying that? If this is the case, only you have two paper. Why you are taking a load of another paper? Just try to understand. You score 50, 50. You are confident about FR. Only you think about audit. I will say in this attempt, do whatever you want to do for audit. Already I have given 300 hours. You can increase that 300 hours by studying 12 hours per day. 12 hours per day. Why not 4-time revision? Start revising from today. Audit. Make a target that in audit you are going to score more than 60. Why more than 60? Target is more than 70. Just try to understand, when your target is 50, you will not be able to score 50. If your target is 90, then only you will be able to score 60. So start preparing for audit on the point that you are going to score very good marks in audit. Take it as a challenge. My point is that if you believe that in last 3 attempts, if you have not given proper revision for audit, if you have not given proper time for audit revision, I will say this time be determined, be focused, give proper time for audit revision, and then believe me, easily you can score more than 50. But the next question, big question, if in the past 3 attempts, if you think that you have properly revised audit, then also you are not able to score more than 14 audit, then it is a matter of concern. Then it is a matter of concern. Got this point? Means if you believe that in last 3 attempts, you have given full time on audit revision and then also you are not able to score 40 or more than 40 in audit, it is a matter of concern. It is a matter of concern. Then I will say you require a mentor, and their guidance can only help you. Means you need to change the method. You need to change the method of your preparation. You are doing some mistake in learning the subject, whether it is FR audit. Means in this case, just try to understand, depends upon your own circumstances whether you want to avail permanent exemption or whether you do not want to avail permanent exemption. You want a one mentorship. There is something wrong in the method of preparation. I am saying correct. I don't want to give wrong guidance to you. You do this, do this. No. You decide by your own. I am just making this video to helping you to take your own decision. In this case, believe me, you require one mentor who can guide you about the subject, about the method of preparation, where you are doing mistake, how you are studying. That is, you need to understand. Reading without knowing how to study that paper, you will not be able to pass, even though you have given 400 hours for the audit. That is a matter of concern. This is the entire situation which I just want to share with you. Now, based on this, you can take your own call. Based on this, you can take your own call. Now, there are 2 more questions which I am getting. Suppose in this last attempt, you have already one exemption in AFM. Now, in the last attempt, you get exemption in FR. This exemption you can't claim. This exemption you can't claim. This is also one of the question raised by the student. I am answering this also. Now, in the last attempt, if you score 2 exemption for the first time in one attempt, you score 2 exemption FR AFM, this you can claim. This you can claim. Correct? Means you have scored exemption in very previous attempt in AFM. Last attempt, you have got exemption in FR because you have written 2 paper. This is cannot be claimed. This cannot be claimed. In the last attempt only you have got exemption in FR AFM. Then this is allowed. This is allowed. Now it means in both paper you are exempted, write only audit paper. Got this mind? Now just try to understand. I once again want to inform you about our mentorship program. We are providing 2 types of mentorship program. One is free mentorship program, one is paid mentorship program. All the details is given in my previous video and also in the description of this video. If you want to join our free mentorship WhatsApp group, or you can register for paid mentorship group also. That is your choice. This was from my side for this particular situation. I hope you have understood. Do comment me what option you are going to avail. But whatever option you are going to have, that is your own decision, that you decide based on your determination, your ability, your potential, your effort, how much you are going to put in. Your result is based on your effort. How much effort you are going to put in, how much effort you are going to give in this particular item, that will decide your next result. Bye bye, all the best, love you all.